Yes.
Got you up and moving, and I was like, yeah, I wish I could schedule some dog attacks at work.
Do they allow dogs?
So,
Like comfort dogs for the cancer patients or anything?
um,
Or are they
yeah.
not in that for very long?
no, they're there for a while, but
Okay. You get to see them, right?
yeah, you can't have animals around cancer patients generally. Like, depends what regimen they're on, but
Compromised immune system? Okay.
there are therapy dogs at the hospital. Just, but I work in an office. I go to the hospital every so often.
So what do you think about the doomsday argument? You were sitting here listening while Stephen and me were moving around.
Honestly, I don't have a lot of opinions about it.
Okay.
I don't know. I wish I had something interesting to say about the Antarctic Principle or the Doomsday argument, but I got nothing. So I mostly just been listening.
Yeah, I don't have anything interesting either. My main thing is like sort of a naive realism where I'm just like, where in the world we'll figure out how later, and I don't burn a lot of fuel worrying about other universes or whether or not ours is going to end soon. I worry about us wiping ourselves out a good deal, but I have no I'm not burning any concern on, I don't know, some mathematical reason for why. Yeah, exactly. Nothing like that keeps me up at night. So
yeah, there's no reason to be concerned about things that we ontologically are incapable of controlling.
Yeah. I don't think that stops most of us, though.
Yeah, I'm very good at it. One of my special skills in my CV.
I think it's kind of good that it's motivating. I think a lot of the stuff the rationalist community does is based at least partly on this worry about the possible coming human extinction and doing some good, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not saying X risk in general is worth ignoring, but like it has to be of the kind of thing that you can at least in principle take action to avoid. Like, you can't avoid the X risk of what if you're a Boltzmann brain? Is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah, Boltzmann brain.
You can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the real weird thing about Boltzmann brains is, by the way, if that's true, then no experiment you have ever done has actually been done. So there's no reason to think that physics is actual physics, right? If there are Boltzmann brains, then the probability that the universe that we know has like quantum physics and so on is the actual universe is very low. So then the mathematics you have for Boltzmann brain is probably wrong. Because, it's very unlikely that you're... Sorry?
I don't know what that is, Boltzmann brain. I don't think I've heard that before.
So in the quantum fluctuations, particles can come in and out of existence. There is nothing saying that in theory it is impossible for particles to come into existence spontaneously that form an entire brain that is in the middle of thinking a thought or something. I mean, it's stupid. It's as stupid as saying I can walk through a wall because there's nothing saying that my particles couldn't, spontaneously move through the wall's particles. So, but the argument being that in an infinite universe of infinite space and infinite time, eventually somewhere that's going to happen just because literally every possibility will be explored across all of infinite space and time.
Very absurd, and I kind of love it.
Right, yeah.
Okay, I see Kyle. This is congrats on the episode, folks.
The worst thing is that in an expanding universe, our lives and galaxies will happen sort of once, and then after a while, galaxies will become too far away to continue happening for real, and you would only really have Boltzmann brains happening every, let's say, 10 to the 10,000 years, whatever. But that will happen an infinite amount of time, and you will only be alive once. So it's a lot more likely that you are that single Boltzmann brain that happened throughout time and space an infinite amount of times than you are really that really living human being. Yeah. Which is, of course, why we don't like eternal inflation, which is the theory where the universe sort of goes on forever. Because then it's really weird.
Yeah.
That's a lot of weirdness. Right. It's kind of fun to think about, but...
It's really, I find it always very depressing to think about, so I don't. But again, then I get people asking me, but why? I'm like, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Steve just stole your account. Steve just stole your account.
I'm just on.
You called me Steve.
Steve.
It says Steve on that. Oh, it says Stephen on there. This is the second time I've done this month, isn't it?
Well, you get one more.
I'm really sorry,
We're
man.
not friends.
I don't know what's going on with my brain. It's a bad brain. So I'm gonna take it out back and spank it.
All right, do we want to go to the next topic that somebody sent in?
Sure.
Oh god, the
I got
YouTube
you.
watching us be like lagged in YouTube is so weird.
Okay, so we're gonna have someone else come on now, or what?
Yeah.
Well,
And some of these are in email.
we
I thought
should see
I
if
copied
anybody
them
else
all
wants
over.
to come on. If not, you guys can stay on, but I want to make sure we have enough time to talk to whoever wants to talk.
Would anybody else like to come on and say hello or anything?
I will just say real quick while we decide who's coming on next that Atvade, I'm bad at pronouncing it, has emailed a couple times asking us to do an episode on modern money theory. And I tried researching that, and it is some economic stuff that is well above my skill set. So unless you guys know about it, then we'll have to have an economist on to help us to navigate that one.
Probably a good idea anyway.
Yeah, so it sounds like a cool topic. I did read some of the Wikipedia page, and almost all of it went over my head. So we are interested in. I'm interested in learning more, but I'm not capable of talking about it at this point. So.
Oh, per Koi's request, April wants to talk about the sequences. And I'm not sure "wants to" is the correct phrase here, but we're going to use that so it sounds more voluntary.
Okay.
No pressure.
So the sequences, they're long, and that makes it hard to recommend them to people.
Yeah. Here, go read this thing that's several times the size of the Bible.
Several being 1.75, I think.
Oh, I thought it was like somewhere between 2 and 3. But 1.75 is still a lot of Bibles to read.
I listened to episode 98 like earlier today while on a walk, so
Okay.
yeah, 1.75. So I feel like not all of it is essential. Like a lot of, I think we can edit it down.
Yeah. I mean, I know they did in Rationality A to Z.
Yeah, I mean, they cut out some stuff in that, but it's still like the bulk of the content.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, like, I don't know, for a while I've sort of had the idea of trying to write a version with, like, the vast majority of the content cut out and, like, distilled to the base insights, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure exactly how effective that would be, or whether like you need to spend a lot of time really engaged in the content to absorb any of it.
Yeah.
But
I was about to say I'm really curious if that would work as
I'd be
effectively.
curious to try, with just maybe one sequence, seeing if I can like summarize it without losing enough information that it's not worthwhile.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Like I think there would still be value in reading the whole thing, but you can still get most of the like most important stuff in a shorter work.
Yeah, it might be worth doing anyway, even if if someone really doesn't have time to.
Yes, Darkness Edition.
We managed to give them a few insights from it, then it's still knowledge that exists where knowledge wasn't before.
Yeah. It's weird.
Like Rationally Abridged exists, but it's like one sentence summaries of everything, which I think is too short.
It's too abridged.
It's too abridged.
Yeah.
An upgill or 5 terms.
It's weird because I've heard a successful story defined as something which is as short as possible but cannot be shortened more to give the same experience. And I mean that's just a way to explain fiction, but in my opinion, the point of that is that you need a certain amount of experience to give emotional valence, which is what you want out of a work of fiction. And the sequences, like a lot of it, you can get a lot of the information without reading all the sequences. A lot of it has been written about before. There's self-help books, there's textbooks on various topics, but the way it was written gave it a sort of emotional valence to me that made it stand out, where all those other things just kind of faded into the background of my life. So I would also like an abridged thing that can give the same sort of emotional thrust, without telling someone, here, read this massive holy tome that we have. But on the other hand, I wouldn't have the skill to do that, and I don't know how well it could be done and still retain that stuff. It's weird because you don't want to tell everybody what you really got to do is be alive in 2009 through 2012 and reading along on the internet, because that just doesn't work as actionable advice.
Alright, so in addition to just shortening it, I also think it can be explained in ways that reduce inferential distance.
Okay.
I saw someone say Upgoer 5, which is the book by the XKCD Randall Munro, which explained a bunch of stuff using the 1,000 most common words in English.
The Thing Explainer.
Oh, I have that book.
Oh no, that's the book is Thing Explainer. It was the original comic was Upgoer 5.
Oh, perfect.
So
Explainer's great.
I think a lot of these sequences is catered to, the kind of nerdy people that most rationalists are, and that if explained using different words, it could probably reach a wider audience.
Yeah, that's something else that I think is
Which is, I guess, it's sort of a related idea of revising the sequences.
It's also a product of its time. 100 years from now, these sequences aren't going to be useful because there's so many pop culture references and anime tropes and things that if you're in the culture, but you just won't after a while. It's like how they make people read the Quran in the original Arabic. Thank you. But I mean, even so, it's been written 500 years ago. The Quran now, people aren't going to get the same thing out of it, even reading in the original language as they did then. So, on the other hand, it's only been 10 years. We can do better.
It seems a bit premature to start worrying about that.
Yeah.
But I would be happy if it was still around and in the culture in the future. But 1,300 plus years.
Yeah, 700-ish AD, I think.
Oh. Okay. I didn't realize it was that long ago. People are discussing Yud's short stories in the XKCD forums. Okay. I kind of hate that abbreviation, but it caught on.
What's it?
Yud.
Oh, yeah.
If people went around calling me bro, I'd be like, I'm bro.
Although you get the original claim to it because it fits better than just the usual moniker of hey bro.
Right.
Yeah. My work handle is always Zoobs.
Yeah. A lot of people,
which isn't any shorter than Zuber, but
right. But it sounds cooler.
Yeah.
A lot of people do call me E, even among my friends though. So
E-Pain, E-Dog.
Not E-Pain yet. Haven't caused quite enough pain to them. I'll keep working on that. Oh God. No, Emmanuel, please no. Ballad of Big Yud. Yeah, that was fun.
Big E.
Uh-oh. Why we hears no audio? Does anyone else hear audio?
I hear audio.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I'm hearing audio.
It might have just been internet outage.
Yeah, just for a second, looks like you're back
Some
in.
tube cloggage between here and there. Which I've always thought he was unfairly maligned for that comparison. I mean,
what?
The senator who said the internet isn't like a dump truck that comes to your house; it's a series of tubes. And
you think he was unfairly maligned?
well, I mean, it was clear from context that he didn't really know what he was talking about. But on the other hand, a series of tubes is actually a very apt metaphor for the internet.
I mean, I love that phrase, and it is a nice visualization, I guess.
Yeah. It makes sense. You're constantly streaming data from one node to another.
Reminds me of YouTube.
What reminds you of YouTube?
The tube metaphor.
Tubes.
Oh, okay, yes.
I thought you were saying a dump truck. Yeah, I mean, just because I like stretching metaphors, I can imagine having a faucet with 2 million handles, and that's the one that you pull the one to open one website.
Yeah. That'd be fun. Steampunk internet.
Exactly.
That was exactly what I was thinking when you said the internet's a series of tubes, and I was remembering steampunk internet, where it was literally a series of tubes.
Awesome. What is that? Sorry for getting off topic real quick, but what was the music like, steampunk music?
Oh, you haven't heard Ebony Park? That seems like it would be up your alley.
Maybe I have. I don't know.
How do I describe that genre? You know what? I will send you some songs because I'm having a hard time thinking of how what I would compare it to.
So April, you say there is a Sequences Abridged out there. Have you read it?
I looked over it, but like I said, it's about one sentence per sequence article, so I didn't sit down and read it because I'd already read the sequences.
Okay.
It's a good resource if you're trying to remember a particular article or something, I guess, but just reading, I don't think unless you're like meditating deeply on each sentence in it, you're not going to get much out of just reading it, I think.
Okay. Well, Macadam says that series of tubes is actually a very bad analogy, except for through the calculations in a model. All right, I am bad.
I live on bad analogies.
I like it.
There it is.
Oh, that's the link in there.
Sweet. So, who was it that wanted to start this project to make a more concentrated sequences?
April, I think.
I mentioned it. I think Jess said that they were also interested in the idea.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it. I haven't sent this notification because I keep getting distracted, but I'm actually going to see if I can take a sequence and cut it down really short without losing a lot of the information, or I guess the emotional variance.
What do you think, April, of the sequence thing section that we have on? I want to say all episodes, but that's a lie. On many of our episodes.
I think it does a good job of explaining. I don't know. I don't always listen to all the episodes all the way through, so I haven't listened to more than a handful of the sequence sections. So I don't know if I can give much detailed feedback on them, but they're good content.
I mean, let's be honest. We probably talk about them longer than it takes to read most of them. So that's if you're going for.
Yeah, I don't think listening to them is a replacement for actually reading the sequences, but I think they can help you, get more out of them if that makes sense.
I mean, to me, it's almost like we want more of the sequences.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Which, speaking of, I don't know what the word is. I have you next to me. I can at any time go to your house and shake you and tell me what happened when you talked to Brian. And yet I still have to wait till Monday to find out what happened. I am dying.
You get it in insider access if you want it.
Okay.
Time.
Okay. I don't want to bother you every week. Be like, Steven, tell me everything that I'm gonna hear in an hour.
I'd be happy to go over it with you.
And Steven be like, why did I edit this entire episode? I'm just gonna tell it to you.
Yeah, I can tell you guys that. So he finally got back to me after getting a chance to talk about it with his daughter, and we'll talk about it on, I guess, not the episode that's coming out on Monday, but the one after, so you guys get the sneak peek. His daughter did pass the 246 test.
Cool.
Wow.
That is impressive.
Yeah, I did pass that.
I
That is impressive.
With a 7-year-old, and she did it too. So I asked if I could help her with the research. The insight was that she asked Brian's daughter asked him, "Hey, how will I know if I'm wrong?" And I'm like, "All right, that's it. She did good enough." The 246 task from for Methods of Rationality, Phoenix. Also, I think it's probably in the sequences somewhere. If not, someone posted in a great link that I've got open on my other computer that lets you do it online. So
I kind of want to give it to Phoenix.
Yeah, if you don't know what it is,
I want someone to give it to Phoenix. I really want to.
Phoenix, stop listening right now.
I mean,
you can call in and do it.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Phoenix, call in. Yeah, we want.
Oh, no forced communications.
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't have to. We are not going to force anything on you, but that would be awesome.
The people want it.
Sweet. Phoenix says
sure.
sure.
To give them the shaft. I totally agree.
Cool.
With your right to choose.
Okay.
What else was,
no pressure, just do it
There's
for us.
something about we want more, or something else. I can't remember.
Because Brian, never mind. I'll find out in 2 days. 1 day. Oh my god, it's Sunday already. Did I tell you? I think I did mention, yes, on the write-in. I actually was looking forward to work when I was driving in last Monday because I knew I would hear your episode.
There was a comment on Reddit where I was reading that comment, or you're one about Sherlock, I think, and it's like, Steven struggled to pronounce Inuyasha's name and acted like he didn't know. He does know this is his channel, right? And I'm like, yeah, that was a joke. I can't tell if the commenter on Reddit was joking or not, because I don't know how much clearer I could have been. We did a prequel episode.
Inuyasha?
I commented back, we're recording the 100th episode of our podcast this weekend. There's a groomsman at my wedding. Like, I know who he is.
We've met.
Yeah, the best feedback that I had, I think, that just for my own, made me smile for this podcast, for the We Want More one, was from Matt Freeman, who did the We've Got Worm podcast, the one that I consistently talk about how we ripped it off for this, with permission. And He had said, "Thank you so much for doing this because I now get to be in the seat where where I'm mad at the co-host because there was a lot of like people being mad at Scott Daly, who played the role of Brian in their version of the podcast when they did Worm, and he now gets to be the people who are mad at Scott." And it was just he's like, "Thank you for giving me this experience."
So why were people mad at Scott and why are people mad at Brian?
Like you're being unfair to the protagonist, kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
I think there's more nuance there, but that's the short version. Short enough that on theirs they made a emoji of it, and it's a like why but you're being unfair to Taylor. And yes, Koi, everyone should listen to We've Got Worm, especially if you've read Worm. And if you haven't yet and want to read this as a companion podcast, they do about an arc per episode, and I went through and re-listened to it. Or rather, I didn't listen to it as it was coming out because I already read Worm. But I listened to it as a standalone thing like 6 months ago, and it was awesome. So check it out.
Shall we get Phoenix on here for the 246?
If they're down.
Said yes twice.
Okay, cool. Then
Yeah.
they are down. So they're in, and I'm going to go ahead and we've still got I don't think Tave's talked in a while, so.
Ite and April, we are going to let you go unless you had anything else to say.
Bye. Thanks.
I don't have anything else
Thank
to
you
say.
so much.
Bye.
This was a lot of fun. Thanks
Good
for
night.
calling in.
Good night.
Yeah, thank you for calling in.
Once we work out the bugs, I want to do these more often.
Yeah.
This is great. I'd be down to
And
talk more
it'll be
often.
really good.
We could do
I
this
think-
maybe every December.
Well, we could even do it super frequently if we were just calling from our own computers at home, and that'd save a lot of this mic madness.
That's
It
true.
All right.
Okay.
I'm worried this would get old if it happened very often.
I mean, people could just join in whenever they wanted.
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Anyway,
It's
see
really
ya.
rock. Thanks for coming in.
Yes.
And we're going to invite Phoenix on next.
Also, I love your comments on the Discord. I know that I don't post in it very much, but I do read almost everything that goes on there.
Yeah, I stalk the Discord.
Same.
So,
Thank you. See ya.
All right, cheers.
yeah, thanks for being on.
Phoenix. I don't even think I've
Hello.
done a roll.
Ah, there we go. How are you doing?
I'm alright.
Excellent.
Dicking around with code things.
Cool. That reminds me, I was going to mention about summarizing sequences. There exist free tools for simplifying text. So you can have a really long news article.
No, they're not very good.
They're not very good, but that might be a good place to just trim it down to.
I think a lot of what they do is find the most important paragraphs and then just only include those.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, humans are still much better at doing this than machines.
Yeah, I'm all about the shortcuts.
All right, are we ready for our online 246 task?
Yes.
Oh, we should really quickly introduce Phoenix, maybe? Do we need to? I guess we didn't introduce anyone else. Hi, this is Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Hi.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did the replacing guilt thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got
That
the
was a
cool
good
flair and
episode.
everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, the rules of the 246 task. I don't want to screw this up. So 246 returns a yes.
Yeah.
And go ahead, Ignash.
You got to find out what the rule is that produces a sequence of numbers. We give you the first sequence for free, and that sequence is 246. And you can ask us, give us any sequence of numbers, and we'll tell you whether or not the numbers follow that rule, whether the rule would create those numbers. And once you think you have the rule, you know what it is, then you tell us what you think the rule is.
Cool.
Right?
Yeah.
I now remember this, but I've never done it before, so let's do it.
Okay. So 246 is the first sequence.
And you get to ask us triplets of numbers, and we'll return true or false.
All right. 111.
False.
1, 2, 3.
Yes.
3, 2, 1.
No.
1, 1, 1.
No.
Okay. 2, 2, 2.
No.
2, 3, 4.
Yes.
2, 4, 3.
No.
9, 8, 7.
No.
7, 8, 9.
Yes.
Okay. So far, it looks like an increasing thing. 1, 2, 1.
No.
3, 4, 2.
No.
Okay. So far, not generating any hypotheses other than just it's increasing. Are are multiple digit numbers allowed?
I mean, you can give us a triplicate and we'll tell you if it fits or not.
Okay, sure. 10, 11, 12.
Yes.
10, 11, 9.
No.
Okay, what other patterns could possibly fit this? 1, 5, 10.
Yes.
Huh.
Have you ever actually seen anyone do this?
I'll do it with my wife when I get home.
I just hope I didn't miss something that invalidated the increasing hypothesis. Okay, what other hypothesis could possibly fit this? That I can actually test. 10, 100, 1000.
Yes.
10, 100, 101.
Yes.
10, 100, 100.
No.
-3, -2, -1.
Yes.
-3, 2, -1.
No.
April's faster at typing than I'm at listening.
Hey, I'm not reading the chat right now. Should I or should I not?
No, you're fine. They're just going through and writing down every prediction, putting true or false next to it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate
but
you.
don't read chat. People are talking about it.
Okay. I will continue not reading chat. Oh gosh. 1.52.
Yes. No.
1.52.
It has to be integers.
Oh, well, okay.
No, hold on. Sorry.
I mean, that's not that big of a giveaway.
Well, I think that was one of the.
I mean, it's been a while since I've read that chapter. Do you think? You've read it much more recently than I have. I am sorry. The correct answer is no.
Well,
whatever.
Wait, who's yelling spoilers?
Because I said that I pointed out.
You spoiled it.
I spoiled it, but I didn't spoil like the rule.
You corrected me.
Yeah.
How long do we want to continue guessing before we tell?
I think we can make a prediction. We'll just play if your prediction's right or wrong, and then let you try some more.
I feel like pretty high confidence. I don't know what number. Whatever. That it's just increasing integers.
That is the rule.
Correct.
Okay.
But what's fun is apparently 20% of adults get this wrong on their first guess. Also, people in the Discord have been doing this with friends, and they get some more. Well, I guess it varies. I'd have to go through and see how many people did it and what their results were. But a lot of people got varying results. Like they offered $5 or something, and got people to actually think about it.
I could have sworn when Harry did it, he said that it was any real number, as long as it was increasing.
I thought he said integers, but
You said integers?
We can just check.
Yeah.
Cool.
so anyway, the point is, or the point that Harry was making is, people rarely try to falsify their own hypotheses. So often when people do this task, they won't do anything that would.
I was right. It's any three real numbers, increasing order.
I shouldn't have questioned the
I didn't even think about putting more numbers in there.
Maybe.
Man.
That's a good point. Maybe people just don't consider non-integers to be real. Obviously not by definition, but intuitively, like if you think of 1.34, that's not a real number. You have 1.34 children.
You can, but
you probably don't want to.
Yeah.
I've never seen 1.34 in real life either.
Mm.
I don't think I've ever seen any numbers. Well,
Yeah, you've seen instances of numbers.
yeah, I've seen representations of numbers.
Right.
Numbers don't really exist there.
If you've seen a number written down, that counts as seeing the number, though, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just hurting my own brain now.
At this point, yeah, we need to ask like a philosopher of language or a mathematician or something.
Since you're on here, is there anything you wanted to talk about?
Hey,
I mean, you guys, we got to talk about The Courage to Be Disliked at some point.
gotta talk about the what?
The Courage to Be Disliked. It's a book.
Okay. You mentioned that on the episode you were over, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, cool.
It's like one of the other books that I think actually, literally everyone should read.
Cool.
Yeah. I'd like to do an episode on it sometime.
I thought, yeah, you said you were going to do that at some point when you got a chance.
Phoenix, I'd like to have you on for that episode.
Cool.
Yeah, let's do it. Oh man,
Nope.
taking notes on this book is going to be weird.
Yeah, now that I've done
Weird
an
book.
entire book like review, that is much more work than I was expecting.
I love doing book reviews.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's like I do them for. I'm horrible. I do critical analyses of books for fun.
I mean, I do that with
Oh,
fiction
yeah.
books. Like every time I go to a book club, I post afterwards, a book review-ish thing. But it's really different when you have a non-fiction book making an argument. That doesn't come naturally to me.
Thanks.
Jess, at some point you mentioned having like saved some of your old book reviews, and I still want to read those. I just had forgotten.
Yeah, I'm gonna show them to you. I mean, I have one of that book that we're currently reading, Heir Apparent.
Oh yeah, cool.
So I'd be
I gotcha. I'm already up.
happy to show you that after we read it.
This is how long has this gone on that Steve needs to charge his laptop?
It's
Oh, my laptop also just is old and sucks.
it's 3:30.
It's 3:30. Okay,
So we've been going for a pretty long time.
went a lot faster than I thought.
Your calendar says it ends at 6. Is that actually right?
No,
I just stuck a random end time there, so I knew not to schedule anything over the time that we were doing the live podcast. I don't think we're gonna go to
Which is
6.
great. You're not tethered.
I'm already kind of falling asleep.
yeah. When people asked in the text channel how long it was going to go, I said 2 hours ish, and it's been 2 hours ish since we got over the technical problems and started the episode.
I thought we'd just go until we got tired.
I mean, some of us are getting a little bit tired.
I've been tired.
I was
I did
born
that
tired,
so great.
Stephen.
Yeah,
But
it's a group of tired folks.
anyway, yeah, The Courage to Be Disliked. We should do an episode on it. It's about Adlerian psychology. I think it's useful advice, like just self-help wise, but also
It's
it's kind of in the same. Go ahead.
It's weird in that like a lot of the lessons are things that you can describe them, but then really to understand them, you have to chew on them for like 3 months,
Yeah,
which is what we've been doing.
like it has really good advice. I guess I should say that. Oh, what are you doing?
We gotta lean into the
They
picture.
wanted a picture.
Hey!
Yeah, let me make a less stupid smile.
Nope. We're all born with stupid smiles. That's what we're stuck with.
Some people have non-stupid smiles. Look, Steven's got this
Or
one.
export. I just want to copy to the clipboard. Are you shitting me?
So I'm not like tired because I'm daffing today, which is what we use, or the cool kids say when they're using the daffing. They say I'm daffing. but like I don't want to burn out either, nor do I want to burn out our audience. So we should probably wrap it up like in the next 15 minutes or so.
Unless anyone's just dying for a turn.
We didn't get
But
to
we'll
talk to
get to
Kyle
this a little
yet.
more often. Would suggest.
We didn't get to talk to Kyle yet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, talk to Kyle.
We noticed
Those pictures.
they had a philosophy thing they wanted to talk about.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
Kyle, you said what the name was?
They're at Happy Tortoise.
Tabby Tortoise, did you want to come in?
Koi says they could do 4 more hours of this at least.
It's more than I could do, man.
Alright.
Glad that we did this though, because
Yeah, I think this would be
now we can
fun.
do more of them, and we can.
Frankly, we've got the
Solver.
live channel. Maybe I'll just jump in there once in a while when I'm bored. Like, it's been a really slow week at work. It's not uncommon in software to have, like, basically a code freeze for, like, basically most of December. So we haven't been releasing features, and I don't think let's see. Last week, I remember there was a day where I wrote 1 line of code. So there's lots of time to not do much.
Oh man, I'm just always constantly in a state of being behind at my job.
Our team is constantly in a state of being ahead to the point where it's like the only complaint we have from management, which is pretty cool. And like that's a good complaint to have because they keep throwing work at us, but they can't make work fast enough for us to do it. It's not that like we're all awesome; it's that they keep overestimating how hard stuff is.
So it looks like Kyle's not responding. They might have taken a break. Highly trained neural networks wanted to come in and say hi.
All right, Phoenix. I think we'll let you go and jump in with highly trained neural network.
That's it.
We're going to find out if they're a person or not.
Or just a highly trained neural network. Cool.
How would we know?
Thanks, Phoenix. You rock.
Bye.
Right.
I don't know if I'm being heard.
You are being heard.
Yes, how are you?
Oh, perfect. Hey guys.
Watched the Oliver last week tonight on robocalls.
No, it's not.
They reply, ha ha ha, no, I am a real person. Please just say you're not a robot. Ha ha ha, of course I'm a real person. And it's sort of disarming. But yeah, so please say the words I'm not a robot.
I don't know. If
Can't do that.
Can't do it.
It was very bad quality anyway. May have been a outage, but yeah, highly trained neural network disappeared as soon as you said, "Please say the words I'm not a robot."
Oh, they're gone.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
Found the robot.
We did it.
All right. My Wi-Fi crapped out.
It crapped out at a really hilarious time.
Cool. I think an amazing login just wanted to say hi.
Yeah, sounds good. Let me amazing login. You are live.
Hi there, amazing.
Hey, I'm here. I think I'm amazing.
Now you can rub that in your friends' faces.
Oh yeah, my friends that don't know what this is about. And also, I literally yesterday played in front of more people than will ever hear this.
Oh.
Like a concert,
Really?
orchestra stuff.
Oh, nice! Congrats.
A big church and like about 200 people. So
That's awesome.
like I can't really rub this into people's faces.
Right. What instrument do you play?
Viola.
Ah, excellent.
The slightly large violin.
Okay.
But not the really large violin. That's the
No,
joke.
of course not.
It's the middle-sized violin.
I mean, it's the second child. Cello is the other one. It's the bigger one.
The cello you actually sit down on the floor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's like bigger than me.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I can still hold mine and like stand up and play and stuff.
Oh yeah, Apocalyptica is the Four Cellos guys, right? There's this great band called Apocalyptica, which just plays on four cellos, and
Oh wow.
I know them most because they put out a Metallica cover album where they just do like 10 Metallica songs
That
on four
sounds
cellos.
really cool.
It's
Can you
fantastic.
share that with me?
And they have one cello that is basically James Hetfield's voice, you know? It hits all the same notes he hits. Obviously, it's not a human voice, but it's great. I like it.
There's also the YouTuber Tina
Yeah, they
Gao.
are really good players.
There's also Rasputina,
Yeah.
and they're gonna be here in like a week.
I know. Maybe I should go see them.
Yeah, come on.
I'm thinking about it.
I think Phoenix are going.
Okay. Random people on World of Warcraft will just be like, hey, have you ever heard Rasputina? And I'm like, I've heard of Rasputina because of my name, but I've never actually heard Rasputina. So,
Yeah, since I haven't heard the name, that's your like handle on some stuff.
yeah, on World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Oh, the goat is back.
I really should go because I hear good things about it. And I got nothing else. The only thing is, I hate New Year's Eve. It's like the worst holiday.
Well, that'll make it better.
Yes.
Concert.
I'm not sure I want to be out with all the people that are celebrating the worst holiday, though.
No, that's my story.
Oh, hey, they're dogs.
I
Yes.
probably don't want to do it. It's not great.
Just pretend.
Gonna get a high def shot of Arya to ruin everyone's face.
Aw. Just pretend it's what? Sorry?
Just pretend it's Newtonless.
Nailed it.
Okay. Awesome. Aw. Sorry, we're being distracted by a cute in real life doggo,
Oh.
Yes.
which is somehow even better than pictures of doggos.
Oh, my minion! Take vengeance!
Thanks, bud.
Alright, do we want to answer number 2 questions from the document before we go?
Yeah, I don't think I actually planned with enough notes. So,
who did we just unmute?
Emmanuel, because they wanted to be. We'll make sure to unmute everybody or to, fix the channel for future live chats. Don't worry. As far as the doc, immortality sounds like its own episode, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So Lucas wrote in wanting us to do one on that. We will, I promise.
Yeah, that's one of my special interests. So I can't wait to talk about that.
Okay, I'll fix the thing right after this is over because when I go to unmute people.
Oh, because some people are server muted and some people are just not guests, and so they're regular muted.
Yeah, so if I unmute April, I'm not sure if he'll come back into this or not.
Oh, it's a dog.
Okay. But are we wrapping it up then?
I was gonna see if Kyle was still on and wanted to say something.
Hey!
Yeah, because I muted you, so we'll have to. I think I'll just unmute everybody after the call is over.
It's just turning into chaos here, man.
Chaos, I mean.
Yep. Oh, no. April's muted again.
Okay. I guess Kyle left. Yeah. So let's let everybody talk and then.
Alright, we are willing to take one more person then before we go?
That sounds good.
Alright, one last person that wants to get in. Unless Amazing Login, you wanted to say anything else. I'm sorry, I realized we just shuffled you off unfairly and too soon.
No, I think dogs coming in to save the day is good enough.
Cool. Alright, well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Oh, look at the doggo.
Good dogs. Good dogs. Have a good night.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next time. Thanks
You
again.
too.
Bye.
I know this makes me a terrible person for half the population, but I really prefer dogs to cats.
I mean, it's different strokes.
Yeah.
Like, the cool thing about my cat is if I leave her alone for 5 hours, she's stoked.
Right.
So.
If you leave a dog alone for 5 hours, they're like, oh my god, they're never coming home!
Exactly.
Dogs are so cute.
Phoenix says, I don't think most people's morals are quite so specific. Yeah. Most people like to exaggerate things. Like back when the PC versus Mac wars were a thing.
Oh, HP Biz. The first thing I asked Google Assistant was like, hey Google, cats or dogs?
What did Google say?
I forget what it said. It said like, according to Wikipedia, dogs are more popular. Sorry.
Hey Alexa, what's better, dogs or cats?
I like both cats and dogs, but I'm really more of a non-wall person.
Alright.
I don't know if you guys could hear Alexa's super non-committal answer. She said she likes both cats and dogs, but is more of a narwhal person.
It's a very good way to not offend any of their customer base.
Respectable. Agreed.
Yeah.
Immortality I think deserves its own thing, and
all of these are like entire show things, right?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, just thought we'd try and. I figured that this would be slower with people calling in, so.
Yeah, let's save the feedback for like the next feedback episode.
Feedback for later. All right. Any other random stuff while you guys have us captive audience?
Yeah, any other questions you want us to answer? Anybody else want to talk? Do you want to just talk about narwhals?
Narwhals is the next big thing. Great, Alexa. Way to derail the conversation.
Oh, GSV wants to come in.
Why are we so lovable? It's a skill, man. We've been working hard on this thing. You should have seen us 10 years ago.
Honestly,
I was going to deny the claim.
Like, like maybe you're saying that as a joke, or maybe not. For me, that's like true.
That's actually true for me.
Yeah.
So about 4 years ago, I had a party at my place, and I had gotten back in touch with someone who I'd known in college. I only went through the 1 year in college, and I was like, "Oh my God, Mark is back!" Because in college we were like tight, we were friends. You know, we did everything together. We did the Perfect Strangers dance together, and then he'd jump in my arms at the end, and I'd catch him, like this Perfect Strangers date. It was a lot of fun. But anyways, he came over, and he was the most annoying, obnoxious person in the world, just constantly mugging for the camera, and there wasn't even a camera around, you know? It was, when he finally left, I was like, oh, thank God, he's finally gone. And everyone was like, the door didn't close all the way yet. He might have heard you, you asshole. And I was like, I think the door closed. But if it didn't, whatever, I want to see him again anyway.
The metaphorical door closed after you said that.
Yes. I don't think Mark is listening. If he is, I apologize. I'm sure you're a great person, Mark, and you were just nervous at one party or something. But anyways, after he left, Chris, one of my friends who's been my friend for almost since college, the past 20 years or so, was like, yeah, you were just like him, man. That's why you guys were best friends. I'm like,
oh no.
No. He's like, yeah. I'm like, how did you stay my friend? Because apparently I was also one of those desperate for attention, will do anything, including be annoying, as long as it gets people to look at you kind of people.
I guess all that shows is character growth from you since college, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just responding to, I learned social skills in my 20s. I was just kind of I don't know, I would just be reading books.
Did you learn them by reading books?
No, by playing MMOs.
Oh, that's good. They force you to interact with people a lot and don't give you much else to do while you're grinding out the 10,000th mob.
And also you're anonymous.
Yeah.
The social anxiety of interacting with people in real life prevented me from ever, taking chances, talking to strangers, saying anything that I thought might be controversial at all.
You said you played one of the Korean ones, right?
Ragnarok Online, yeah.
I've heard of that one from someone else too. It was pretty popular for a while.
Even better, devolving arcs where you see the person getting worse and worse. Evan Golan.
How about you, Steven? How are you so lovable? What happened?
I don't have a good answer prepared for this. I'm told that I'm nice.
Don't you practice it, actually? Like you were saying after you watched the Mr. Rogers movie in particular, that
well, after I heard about that movie existing, I don't know, yeah, it's hard to give an answer that doesn't sound like I'm patting myself on the back. I'm afraid to commit to an answer. I think just try to be nice to people, recognize that everyone's doing their own thing, and for the most part, everyone's doing their best. And to the point where they're obviously not, or they're obstructing or something, then it's different. But everyone's just trying to do what they can with what they've got.
For what it's worth, you were basically like this when I met you, and when I first met you, you were still pretty damn young. So you must have been like this most of your life.
No, mainly just since right before I met you.
Okay.
Maybe since right before. It would have been my early 20s. Yeah, my ability to make friends, my relationship history, I was finally freed up from being in a relationship for the first time in my early 20s, and then shortly thereafter met my wife. So, which is great. But I also love saying my wife. It titillates me every time I get to say that word. And so, yeah, I don't have much of a good answer.
And if the earlier relationship had been toxic, kept you?
Oh yeah, that was you find. I don't know how many boxes you have to check on the "this is an abusive relationship" list for it to be abusive, but you check several of those boxes.
Yeah.
I think you have to check one of them.
Oh well, okay. I know, with some some of those diagnoses in DSM, it's you got to click 5 of 7 or something. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't think it's.
Yeah, you're right.
It's the same as a.
That's fair. Yeah, it's no, they hit you, but they don't put you down in public. So yeah, something like that, right? Anyway, yeah, that didn't really I don't think that hurt me being a good person, but I think just being around good people is the other main thing. Yeah. Finding good influences for yourself, and you never stop being influenced. So you just try to surround yourself with positive folks.
Yep, that's why I moved here.
Ooh, speaking of which, that our very first caller from Kansas, Pratt, what was the handle now? I forget.
History will tell us when we play this episode back.
That's true, but maybe we can also get them to join the Denver, rationalist trap. It sounds like we might be getting GSP here.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like they have a pretty cool thing going in Kansas. So.
It's true.
I was gonna say.
Well, maybe they can import all their Kansas people.
Right, just move everyone out of here. That'd be great.
Yeah.
A base there, and thank you. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, we managed to get Jess in. That was good fun. Good job, Steve.
You didn't have to try very hard. I was so out of New Jersey.
Cool.
So over it at that point.
I'm glad you landed here.
Oh, you were moving? Oh, yeah, too.
I know. I honestly,
You have to take these off. No one's listening. So we're not listening to people anymore.
Oh. That's right. Oh, GSP, did you still want to talk?
Yeah. He says it's also important to try and improve problematic people, which is true.
It's true,
but not everyone has the energy for that.
And there's there's the best paraphrase I heard of it, and this isn't quite the same thing, but like you can't keep other people warm by setting yourself on fire, right?
Right.
And I know people have done that where they run themselves ragged trying to make everyone else happy, and it's tough because at some point you're like, okay, now I've got to abandon this person. Maybe it's the mentality, and it's like, and I've been there too. I mean, it's a long story, but I had this guy living with me for like 6 months who I knew was actively stealing from me, and he was just the most. We got him 2 jobs. He lost both of them within 3 days. Missed his first shift for one of them. Just a complete all right, cool. You're not ready to be helped right now. And at some point, it was like, all right, go. You got to go fuck off. You got like 2 days. Get your shit out of here. But that took a long time. So it's
a weird balance to strike. Because did you see that that back and forth text back and forth? I think I posted it on Twitter about the mom with the trans kid and a friend. It was like I expected it to be, because it started out with "You made my child sick," and the response was like, "I am so sorry. Does she have a cold? What happened? I didn't have any symptoms." And the mom was like, "She wants to be a boy now." And I thought it was going to go directly into where all of these things go to, where one person slams the other one, and there's a bunch of dunking, and everyone on one side cheers, and everyone on the other side goes like, "This is what's wrong with people on the other side, whether it be left or right," right? But no, instead the mom was the friend was like really like compassionate and caring, and just listened to her and replied, and like it ended after going back and forth for I don't know how long. It must have taken them 20-30 minutes, but it ended with the mom being like, I'm glad that my I guess I don't know if she was referring. I don't think she was using son yet, because she wasn't quite there. She was like, "I'm glad that my child has this friend, and I will get them a binder, and thank you. I want them just to be healthy and happy as well." And it was like the most heartwarming thing I've ever seen. And
having hard conversations that are fruitful, I think, is super valuable. But that's distinct from keeping a toxic person in your life, because it's important to try and help them, right?
Yeah.
Like if someone's bringing your life down, I don't know. The other way, I guess, maybe that stay positive is I don't get out that much, so I don't have a large sphere of people that I'm interacting with, and almost all of them are by choice. And the ones that I'm forced to interact with that I don't like interacting with, I interact with very little. So,
do we want to put JSP in?
Yeah, if they want to come on.
They said this.
All right. Then.
Oh, an amazing login says, "On net, I left my last partner in a better spot than they were before we met, but the process made me worse off. And also, I did some bad things I never want to do again."
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
It sounds relatable.
Yeah.
I've been in some situations like that too.
It's really hard. And it's not like just a balance you can find once and get right, because it's different for every single person you meet. So.
And like the thing is too, is you recognize that you did some stuff that you don't like, and that's growth, right? Yeah. And I don't know, I mean, I think I've got a pretty blasé, maybe the better way to think about it is pretty dude outlook on life. Like the dude from the movie The Big Lebowski. Although he's kind of a loser, but
you are an ordained dudist now.
I am an ordained minister of the Church of the Dudes, so I don't know. Like you've recognized something and you grow from it. I feel really awkward giving that kind of advice. I'm not equipped, so I'm going to just unmute GSP and let them jump in. So you're crushing it. Amazing login. Don't worry about it.
The worst part about giving advice is that someone might take it, and then you feel like it's your fault for whatever the outcome is. I think, Stephen, you said when Zeke said that he changed his life based on your advice, you were like, "I didn't want that kind of pressure."
Yeah, he was freaked out. He said, "I'm kind of freaked out by hearing that." Zeke Aran, who's on here, I don't know if he's in the Discord or not, but he was on one of the shows, and he lives in Colorado Springs. He got me into programming by asking why I didn't do it. He sent me automated boring stuff, some Python tutorial, which I always throw to people if they're curious to start programming, and it's totally changed the life trajectory of my adult life. And he was freaked out that happened, and I'm like, I think that's just life, man. You
get off and comment, changes somebody's life.
Yeah, and so I guess it means try to be careful, but it also just means that's how everyone's lives work. My wife got into social work because her second roommate in college was a social worker. Prior to that, she was an art major, and if they hadn't landed in the same dorm room together, then she probably wouldn't be doing what she's doing now. So it's just things just happen. You want to take the driver's seat as much as possible, but I think you just got to take what comes at you when you can too. See, this isn't articulate.
All right, let's get GSP on real quick before we call it. Yeah. Sonar Man, thumbs up.
Howdy.
Oh.
Great to be back. And
Hey.
I'll state that.
We're glad to hear you as well. I have this problem where I try to I think two things, and then I try to say them both. I'm like, I'm glad you're on, and it's great to hear you. And they go, wow.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing. The struggle's real. Inyash, I would add on that it's weird to know people you're taking your advice shit thing. I recall you commenting another time on someone saying that about the marriage episode.
Yeah.
And seemed relevant.
Was it me?
Yeah. I don't know. Was it you?
I mean, I feel like I said that.
I think that you said it certainly impacted your thinking.
I feel like I've been told who it was, but I don't know. Currently.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, there's a kitty.
Sorry, that was me.
Oh, that is
that's Zelda?
That is a fine kitty, Stephen.
She's a big sweetheart. She slept in our bed last night for the first time.
Yeah.
She's come in a couple times to wake us up and want attention, which is super sweet. But she spent the first day on the top of the cabinets, just getting acclimated. I thought that she didn't like us and she was nervous. But yeah, so last night I didn't even notice that she was sleeping on her bed till I woke up this morning. And then she was just all attention wanting, and she wanted pets. And she did that thing where she pushes her face into your face, and even though she can represent it was just very heartwarming. So she still doesn't like being. I don't know, if she doesn't want attention, she'll walk away from you, which we totally respect. But she hung out with us, and so she actually loves us. And it was very nice. It's only been a week, so
Cats are good about boundaries.
Yeah,
I appreciate that about them.
How's life back on the East Coast?
I couldn't say. I'm headed there next week, but I'm in Minnesota.
Okay. Long trip then.
It worked out pretty great. A couple of other people, including several from this Discord that I know, are going to a rad event in New York for the solstice.
Right, aren't you going?
Yes.
I'm definitely going to try to go. I need to figure out logistics around that.
Okay.
That sounds like a hell of a drive, but if you're daffing.
Oh, yeah. It's true.
I've done 24-hour drives.
I wouldn't want to drive that far. I mean, aside from I thought
it was going to be terrible. I drove from here to Scottsdale, Arizona for my boot camp.
But New York, that's like you said, that's 20 hours, 24 hours?
24.
26 hours, Jesus, yeah.
20 if you're driving like a champ.
Okay.
27 minutes to Phoenix, they looked it up. Yeah, actually on the drive to and from Scottsdale, I found myself actually really enjoying it. There's something really great about, especially if your life's really hectic, just kind of realizing all I have to do is drive.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm responsible for doing right now is driving. And you can just kind of chill, you can look at the scenery, you can listen to lots of podcasts or audiobooks.
I think Matt Freeman put this on one of his Duke episodes or one of his podcasts, but he was like, do you guys remember when you used to listen, excuse me, do you remember when you used to listen to music in the car? I can hear myself echoing, that was driving me crazy. And yeah, it's been the longest time since I've listened to music in the car. I had to disconnect my battery to clean the terminals and stuff on it a couple weekends ago. And I was at my parents' house, my dad was helping because it was over Thanksgiving. And he was like, are you sure, it's not going to ruin your radio presets or whatever? And I'm like, I've had this car for 6 years. I don't think I have any radio presets. I have a CD in the car. And it's the only CD I own because it's a comedy album by Tom Segura and signed it when I saw my Comedy Works. Oh, nice. And I also only keep it in the car in the event that my phone dies or something, right? So I have something to listen to, so I'm not stuck with my thoughts. But
there is no worse hell.
No, that was actually a great thing stuff with my thoughts. Well, I don't know.
Depends on your thoughts.
I guess so. I like thinking, so
yeah,
getting a lot of time to just
sit and think, work through your life.
I've found podcasts to be a really great, not having to waste time on my commute anymore, or not having my commute be completely wasted time has been a large life improvement.
Yeah, I would agree. But I think we are getting less. This may be false, completely false. I fear it's possible that society may be getting less contemplative on a whole because we just don't have as much time to spend alone with our thoughts.
I think that's true. I like the recommendations that, I forget the blog, but there's a rationalist blogger who recommended people take Sabbaths.
Yes, that was a good one.
Yeah, wasn't that the Slack thing?
Yeah.
I need to do more structured thinking time. I feel like that would behoove me to just keep my files in order, you know?
I kind of, it's not exactly the same, but meditation's good for that too. That's kind of sitting there and not thinking, but you're getting that space that you don't generally get.
Yeah.
If you do make it, Jess, Phoenix, I have my next project in the works that I should have a teaser up for on the Mega Meetup.
Ooh, awesome. Oh yeah. They're doing the unconference again.
Oh, unconference?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the one that they did last time I was at the New York solstice.
Yeah.
If you're in the New York area, I will be there talking, giving a better organized version of some of what I discussed in my own episode.
Okay.
The chance to sort of call the interesting broad strokes of the book that the book itself doesn't gestures at, but doesn't really talk about.
Curious to check that out. And good night to the people who are leaving.
Yeah, we should probably wrap it up. It's been 3 hours.
It's been a bit.
I could make some dinner now and eat.
All
I
right.
haven't eaten since breakfast. Probably do that.
Yes, that is a good idea. Human fuel is important.
Okay.
Shall we wrap it up? Oh, okay. I guess we will, since this is actually going to be the episode that we put out on Wednesday as well, I will say at this point that we're not going to have an episode in 2 weeks because, as is traditional, I'm hoping I didn't clear this with you guys, but I've never done a Christmas episode for anything I've ever done because I'm like, fuck it, it's Christmas, I'm taking it off. You guys okay with skipping the next one?
We can air this in 2 parts and get around it that way.
Honestly, we probably should.
You think?
It's like 4 hours.
That's, well, yeah. Maybe we will do that then.
That's I wish I'd thought of something like that for what I'm doing.
Next year.
Or you can just say, guys, it's Christmas. Happy having a week off and without podcast. Spend some time with your own thoughts, damn you.
I mean, I guess that's an option, but I'm not sure I want to wish that on people necessarily.
Yeah.
Yay. They said the interactive episode was great.
Cool.
I'm glad that people enjoyed it and that it did actually work out. I was a bit worried, especially in the beginning, that we weren't going to figure out the technical difficulties.
Yeah. We'll work the kinks out for the next one.
Oh, yeah.
And as long as I see Lorik and Coy are both in here, I want to thank you both for your guys' contributions to the We Want More podcast. I only used the feed that Coy put together for my own re-listening, and Lorik, your art is awesome. So,
Lorik did the art.
Yeah.
Fuck, thanks, Lorik. That art is awesome.
Yeah.
And did we ever mention on the podcast that Jess, you did the art for Bayesian Conspiracy? We did. Okay.
It's been too long though. Jess did the art for our show.
Yeah,
and
which was amazing.
Guy.
Yeah, Inyash was like, "Oh, I know somebody who does art stuff." Like when we were first getting started, and it was perfect. And then when he came out, it had been like a few times meeting him, maybe even a few episodes before. I'm like, "Wait, you're the person who did that?" So yeah.
Yeah, it's fun to work on. All right.
Yay.
Let's say goodnight.
Cool. Good night, everybody. Let's wait for the YouTube.
Yeah, so in 30 seconds you'll see us waving.
All right, and we'll see you guys in a month or so.
Yep, sounds great.
Okay, bye.
Awesome, thanks everybody.
Good night, thanks.